Hey, Pokey, how are you doing?
I'm well, Lyric. How are you doing?
Today's a good day. It's a really good day today.
Good, good.
Yeah, it's
It's the
it's one of those you have like 3 or 4 good days and then out of the blue for no reason, one day is just terrible. And then
yeah,
we're back to good days. And today's a great day.
good. Glad to hear that.
How are things
Yeah,
where
yes,
where you are?
they're good. It's getting really beautiful here,
Mhm.
and with beauty and warmth and great weather, you just want to get out and do things and celebrate. And I woke up and I looked at the forecast for the week for Napa, which is where I am in California, and it's supposed to be about 85 degrees every single day, sunny for the next seven days, give or take a few degrees. So I just got really excited and I changed out my winter wardrobe in my closet and put all the summer stuff in. But with that came such a feeling of feeling forlorn,
Mm.
because all I love having people here, and to me all those summer clothes mean outdoor dyeing meetups and indigo dyeing off, and having people over for barbecues and that kind of thing. So I did kind of dip a little bit when I was putting my summer clothes in my closet. But if that's the worst of my issues right now, I've got it pretty good.
Yeah, I get that. I think the last like 3 people I've talked to have been all introverts, so they're happy as a clam, just inside working on all their stuff. It's not really different than their usual. Um, I'm not, and I don't think you are either, because it's the same thing. I really need the interaction with somebody. I love my family, and it's wonderful to have interaction with them. I'm so blessed that they're here, but I need my friends.
No, it's funny you say that because I always considered myself somewhat introverted. However, I realize what it really is. It's just social anxiety. When
Mm.
I've never admitted this to anybody, but like for instance, when I go to a quilt show or something and I see people that I haven't seen in a long time, part of my initial reaction is to just go in and maybe go down another aisle, because I don't know. There's something about that initial kind of interaction that I don't know, I guess it's expectations or whatever. But it's funny because even when I go to I get invited to like a dinner party or something, I always have a lot of anxiety before I go, but once I'm there I'm fine. It's just that initial little hurdle.
How do you
But I
get
think
yourself
I
over
am more
that?
extroverted than I think. Oh, someone has to talk me off the ledge. I'm kidding. um I just kind of realized that, people just want to see the genuine you. They're not, don't put such high expectations for yourself meeting up with others. They just want to be with you. And once I kind of get over that initial thing, I first, for real, it happens at quilt shows. And
Yeah.
I'll see a friend in a booth that I haven't seen in a while. And I have I don't know, there's just like an initial little 5-second hiccup of anxiety. And then I kind of get over it and then it's all good. And
Mm.
then I'm loving the interaction and I love being with people. But so I think when I said I was an introvert, I think I said it a few weeks ago in one of my lives. I actually don't think that's the case. I just think it's a little initial social little hiccup when I see people. But I love being with people and I miss people so much.
Yeah. And anxiety is like the serious anxiety disorder is not something you can control, really. I mean, it's like a chemical fight or flight release of hormones that causes this and for some people it's really 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 difficult. I'm glad that you can push over that edge of that and then get what you need with the social interaction.
Yeah, me too. I think too, because in my professional career and my personal life, I've kind of gone through a lot of change over the last 10 years. And I just, if I haven't seen somebody in a while and they haven't seen me in like a new role in my personal life or my business life, it does create some anxiety. But I've kind of learned to just be cool with it and just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, I I'm missing a lot of every once in a while I wonder, am I missing like a lot of social cues? Because I just go all for it. I just, a long time ago decided to, well, not that long ago, decided to pretend that everybody is my friend. And whether they know me or not, you know, and because I love people, I adore people, and you know, it almost never backfires. You know, people are just
Yeah. And
nice.
I see that, you know, I get that feeling, that vibe from you, and I see you in person and when I interact with you in this format.
Yeah,
So,
I love people. So are you working on anything, Pokey?
well, what am I working on? Well, I'll go backtrack a little bit. I bought an Airstream in
Oh,
December,
yeah, I saw
which
that.
is a crazy, a little, she's little, she's used, she's slightly used. So I got her for a decent price. And my goal this year was to really go take her out and go to beaches and to Muir Woods and to Yosemite and to all these places and really learn how to live a life like on the road, because I think that exhibits some strength doing that kind of thing. Learning to put the toe on the car, learning to hitch her up, learning to deal with the power issues, the water issues, the electricity, the heat pump, all of it. I was really excited to do that. And then all of this happened, but in the meantime, I'd been invited by Alex Anderson to be on the quilt show,
Mhm.
and we were going to tape in August. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to make some stuff for Maybell. I've named the Airstream Maybell after a goat that was rescued from the Goats of Anarchy account on Instagram. I don't know if you're familiar with that
I
farm, but
know, but I'm
they're a rescue. You have to follow them. So they rescued from a dairy farmer. They rescued this goat, Maybell, and she was so pregnant. And she just like was so rotund all the way around. And it turns out, so they rescued her and she was pregnant with 4 kids, which is insane. That's unheard of in goats. You don't get pregnant with 4 kids. So she was just like this big rotund, and she gave birth to these 4 adorable goats, and she kind of reminded me of my Airstream. So I named my Airstream after her, Maybell. But I was going to make all these things for her, like oven mitts, towels. Oh, did you find her?
I found them. Yeah,
There she is.
follow.
They're so cute. So they used to have they had a YouTube channel. It might still be up there. It's Goats of Anarchy on YouTube, and they had a live 24-hour cam in Maybell's stall, and when she was giving birth, and then the babies all around her, and they're little. I think they're maybe 3 or 4 months old now, and they're starting to skip and jump and play and frolic, and they're safe. So anyway, long story short is I started working on this Maybell quilt, and then I just stopped around March 11th or 12th when all of this was really coming down in California. And I shifted a little bit, and I definitely stopped working for like 2 weeks. And then I have been back in the barn, and I've been working on Maybell again. I basically took a picture of Maybell and I transformed it into a Thermofax screen,
Mhm.
and I'm printing her in a bunch of different backgrounds and going to do an improv piece that I hope to feature on the quilt show if that taping does happen. I think they're going to change it. Um, but then I've also been working on a proverbial quilt, the Denise Schmidt challenge. I don't know if you know about that.
No, tell me
No.
about it.
Okay. So she has a quilt pattern. It's the proverbial quilt that came out, I want to say, a long time ago, but she's offering it as a PDF download. The proverbial quilt, Denise Schmidt. The hashtag on Instagram is proverbial quilts along. And basically, you take a proverb or a quote, and what I'm enjoying about it is I'm learning how to create letters on a quilt. I've never pieced letters before. So
Hmm.
this is a fun new thing. And so I picked a quote actually from Shawshank Redemption. It's what Andy says to Red. Um, Remember, Red, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Mm.
So that's going to be my proverbial quote. I have a lot of letters. I have like 4 R's, 11 E's, 5 M's. So I'm just making all that right now. But that's going to be my quarantine quilt that comes out of all this. So I've been working on that. And then lastly, because I'm quarantining by myself, I've been doing lives every day on Instagram at 1:00, and I invite, you've been on a couple times, one time, I think.
I've watched.
I invite people on to talk. Yeah, and it's fun for me because, quarantining by yourself, even though I'm in this incredibly bucolic locale, and I'm really fortunate because I'm not really close, I'm not physically near any other people outside of my home. I think I knock on wood, I just jinxed it, but I think I'll get through this okay without getting sick. Having said that, though, there's a lot of mind play that goes into quarantining by yourself. And I wish I could take this and be prolific like Henry David Thoreau. He basically quarantined at Walden Pond, but he was able to create literature and poetry and all kinds of things. And
okay, so you know, the thing about Thoreau is that he did that, but his mom and his sister did all his laundry, cooked for him every day, brought him all his meals.
What? He cheated. I did not know that.
No, so like yeah.
That's fake quarantine.
Roughing it, but
real, man.
Not entirely.
Oh, that is hilarious. I never knew that about him. And I lived in Stowe, Massachusetts, which is next to Concord, because we used to always go to Walden Lake. That is hilarious. I never knew that.
Yeah, it would be easier to be productive if somebody else was doing all the grunge work for me, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. I would love somebody else to cook for me right now. I'm so sick of my cooking.
I wish I could send stuff because I'm enjoying cooking because my family's actually home to eat it instead of going 4 million places, but I'm eating too much of it.
Well, it's funny because I will not let myself go to the store more than once a week. And so I'm trying to buy and ration for one person and figure out what I want to make. And it's been challenging because I think I'm buying I'm not hoarding by any means, but I can't get through a container of eggs or shrimp in a week or other things. And so I'm like, ooh, I got to, cook something and freeze it because I don't want to waste it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard.
So.
I'm the oldest of 6 and had so many kids, and I don't know how I would cook for one person. I just can't. So I cook big amounts of everything. And right now it's all getting eaten. And we only go out like once every 2 weeks. And I do cook and freeze a lot of it, but it's the bread. I'm making so much bread and eating so much.
Are you one of those? Are you making sourdough bread? I think
for the first time in my life. And the only reason, we have a bread machine, so we've always made our own bread, but the machine makes it all, right? And the kids go through a loaf a day. And sourdough, you have to like pay attention to a whole bunch of times over a couple days. And I'm never, ever, ever, ever here. Yeah, so I am doing it, and it's really fun, and I've made some amazing things, which means I'm eating them, but I know the second this is over, that goes out the window. I might as well just throw the starter out because I know we won't be able to take care of it.
Yeah, no, that starter's a beast. It needs to be fed and tended to and cared for.
Yeah, as long as you pay attention to it just once a day. Mine doesn't care really what you feed it or stuff. Like, I'm not measuring or being careful or anything, and I'm not getting scientific about anything. And I'm sure I've almost killed it a couple times, but it's pretty tough. But like I said, as soon as this is over, I won't be here often enough to pay attention to.
So when you say you won't be there, do you have what are your plan? If everything goes according to plan, we can get out of this in, I don't know, 1 to 2 months. What's on your agenda?
We had so many fun travel things planned this summer. This was kind of my really another back off year from teaching. Um,
Okay.
I had a lovely retreat in August at the Hudson River School up at the Greenville. We're going to go on a Maine Windjammer cruise, my husband and I. It's been like top of my bucket list for 20 years. We finally scheduled it. I think that's going to be out. And then Houston, and then a trip to go see my sisters who are scattered across the country. We haven't gotten together in the same place for like 3 or 4 years. So
Are you planning, oh, so when you said Houston, are you a teacher? Are you on faculty there this fall? Okay.
yeah, I'm teaching. I was going to have a special exhibit that I'm curating, but they've postponed that for a year. And honestly, until there's vaccine, I don't know how anything goes back to normal.
I'll be honest, Lyric, I feel similarly. They've canceled every event in Northern California, at least through November. They just canceled the film festival in November, which is a huge deal. I went for the first, it usually coincides with Houston. And this last year, it was a couple days later, and I loved going to the film festival. It was fascinating. I saw all these wonderful documentaries that were just incredible, and I'm so sad that they're not having it this year. But for me, for Craft Napa in January, I'm not feeling confident about that, and I feel I need to be err on the side of safety.
I think we all should. I really think we all should. I'm like, I haven't backed out of teaching at Houston, but I think it's going to cancel. I mean, when they open stuff back up, we're going to have more spikes until at least anything where a whole bunch of people are together in the same space. I don't think that's going to work until they have a vaccine.
I'm tending to agree with you.
But it's going to be okay.
It's going to be great. I mean, we just got to get through. It's just, I'm considering it almost like a sabbatical.
Yeah.
And, I've kind of gotten into this rhythm of doing Craft Napa every January. I was starting to feel more confident in my own teaching again, and I had some retreat plans this year. I've canceled them. I'm most likely gonna do an online version of Craft Napa in January, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm having fun concepting it, conceiving it. But I'm also finding this time very valuable, and that once my anxiety settles around this whole thing, I am starting to find myself more creative again. And it's almost like that. There's four stages of grief and kind of coping. I feel like I'm at that stage of acceptance. And then now it's like, all right, well, this is kind of, I'm recalibrating. This is what I'm dealing with right now. And I'm going to make the best of it and know that this is not forever. This is not the new normal. We only have to deal with this new normal, which that's a phrase I don't really like, probably for like another year to 14, 16 months. And then once we get the vaccine, it's all good.
Yeah. And maybe we'll appreciate different things, and maybe we'll find ways to come out of this better. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Like I started journaling last night, and I thought about how I don't want to go back completely to how I was in the past. I think I tend to go in, I don't tend to reach out to people very often. And I have been reaching out like crazy. And now I feel like I'm reestablishing relationships with people or strengthening those bonds that I don't want to let go of. I'll go out. I'm also super cognizant of how, I don't actually drive very much, but I'm super cognizant about how clean the air is right now. And, I want to make sure even be more concerted about the environment and how we can protect it. I was walking down my street the other day, and a coyote just came right up to me, like not very close.
Yeah.
But this is in the middle of the day, and it was like 6 feet away. And in the daytime here, you just never see wildlife like that. And it was kind of like it felt safe that it could come out of the creek bed and come out onto the street. And I thought, all right, you know what? We share this land.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that, they feel some ownership of it too.
Yeah. There was a great video that I watched of it's a village in Wales where the mountain goats have come down into town for the first time. Like big,
Oh,
huge, long, white,
I
furry,
saw that. Yeah, like
where
in
they're perching on the wall, eating the bushes.
I think that was in the UK somewhere. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
it's Welsh. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Awesome.
I know, right?
It's so awesome. They showed a coyote on a beach in San Francisco overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge the other day here in San Francisco. And it's like, whoa, that's like a really populated beach. And like this coyote's just like hanging out. Like he's like,
Yeah.
it's mine now.
Yeah, it would be lovely if we can work when we get out of this to really hold on to some of the really good things that are
Really.
happening here. Yeah. Well, Pokey, is there any advice you want to give to other quarantined quilters?
Oh, I would say the advice, just be gentle with yourself. You know, don't have, I mean, everybody I've talked to in my lives every day, it's just their creativity has just kind of gone down. A lot of people are doing things that are repetitive, that
Hmm.
involve color, so that makes them happy and stimulates their brains. And I think just accept it and just know that we are all in this together, that we will all come out the other side, but just enjoy the process of making, and just don't set it way up here, because none of us can really manage that right now, and be kind.
Yeah, very good. I agree with all of those things. Be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be patient with what we're going through, and keep making, but
Yeah,
just be okay with lower expectations right now. It's okay. It's
and don't
really
watch
okay.
too much news.
No, I don't watch news at all. Can't deal with it. I read a little bit. I
Yeah,
have
yeah, you want to be aware, but just don't let it take over.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Protect your heart as well. Well, thank you so much for spending
thank
time with me.
you.
I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thanks for asking me. I feel privileged. That was kind of you.
It's good to see you again. Bye,
You
Pokey.
too. Bye.